In this video, we'll learn how to attend a meeting in Zoom. And so here you can see I've got a little link, and this is an invitation to a meeting. And I've already signed up for my own free Zoom account. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this link, and it's going to pop up this little window asking me, do you want to open this in Zoom Meetings? So if I've already downloaded and installed that application, I can open this in Zoom Meetings. And so you can see here it's dropping me into a little screen that says, please wait for the host to start the meeting. So I'm hosting this meeting with my other Zoom account, and I haven't started the meeting yet, and I've enabled a waiting room. So you may see something like this when you come into a Zoom meeting. My recommendation would be to utilize this time to test your computer audio to make sure that your microphone is working properly, that you've selected the appropriate microphone as well. You may want to test your speakers. And as you may have just heard, it plays a little sound through your speakers. So you don't want to be fumbling around with these issues once the meeting has started. It's best to just kind of take care of them now. Now there's a couple other quick settings that you may want to take a look at if you're about to join a meeting, like maybe the video. How does your camera look? So my camera looks pretty good here. You can select which camera to use. If your camera does not appear here, your computer must not have detected it. So you've got some kind of problem with your camera if it's not showing up here. Do I want to enable HD on my camera? That's totally your call. If you enable HD, it's going to consume more bandwidth. So if you're in a situation where this is already working kind of slowly, you may want to avoid enabling HD. And you can touch up your appearance, which I have checked here. If I uncheck it, it doesn't seem to make a huge difference. I think you can see a few more of my freckles when my appearance is not being touched up. So yeah, mirror my video. So the mirror my video option is going to basically just change how your video looks. If I check it, it's got basically this mirror effect where I'm looking back at it as if I'm looking in a mirror. But if I don't mirror my video, it basically just flips it around to the other side. So I'm going to leave mirror my video turned on. And then there's just a few simple options here. If you don't want your video automatically on when you join a meeting, or if you want to display the participant names, you can choose that option. You can always show the video preview dialog. If there's people who are not in the video, what you'll notice is when you have a bunch of attendees in Zoom, if some of them aren't sharing their video, you'll just see basically a black box with their name. So if you want to hide those people, you can just check this box, and then you won't see all of those little black boxes. You'll just see the people who are actually sharing video. Do you want it to spotlight your video when you're speaking? And how many participants do you want to see here in the gallery view? So at a maximum, you can see up to 49 participants per screen. So I just really want to focus on a couple of the really important ones here, right? How do I get my camera working? Do I want to mirror my video? Do I want to turn off my video when joining the meeting? Those are kind of the really important ones if you're about to attend a meeting. And of course, the audio is very important as well. Now, there's a lot of other little options that I can modify here. Things like, how does the chat window work? Do I want to create a virtual background for myself? This is kind of cool. If I don't like what's behind me, I can be in front of the Golden Gate Bridge, or I can be in front of some grass or the planet Earth. And you can see if you kind of move around, it starts to look a little, it looks a little strange, like your hand might like disappear and stuff like that. It really works best if you have access to a green screen. And you enable that option, then it's going to work much better. But, in a pinch, this will work just fine. If you just don't want people seeing whatever's behind you, then this is a great option for that. So setting the virtual background is something you may want to do as you're joining a meeting. And there's a whole bunch of other options here, recording options. We'll talk about some of those as we move on further into the course. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I'm going to go to my other computer and I'm going to start this meeting. Now, if you have multiple people in a Zoom meeting in the same room, one of you is probably going to want to mute your speakers and your microphone. Because if you have two people with their speakers and microphone on in the same room, you're going to get all sorts of feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and join this video conference. And you can see here, here's that little black box. So I don't have video turned on my other computer. And so you're just seeing this black box with my name in it. So this is the meeting interface. Now, let me try a couple things here. On my other computer, I am going to share my screen. So when the presenter starts sharing his or her screen, your interface is going to change a little bit. Right? The shared content is fit to the size of your screen. If you go up here, you can change that. Right? You can exit the full screen. You can get back your normal Zoom interface here. So as the presenter is sharing their screen, it puts me into this full screen interface. If the presenter stops sharing their screen, it changes. So let me start sharing the screen as presenter again. And yeah, your meeting interface changes a little bit here. You've got some options. You can exit this full screen or you can keep it in full screen. You can do side-by-side mode where you're still actually seeing all of the people in the meeting over here on the right. So that's side-by-side mode. You have the ability to annotate. So if you want to kind of annotate things as you're going here, you can do that. However, just be aware, any annotations that you make will be visible by everybody else. So this presenter is allowing people to annotate within this meeting. If you start putting stuff on this screen, it's going to appear for the presenter and everybody else in the meeting. So I'm just going to clear that out. You have the ability to annotate there. And you can change the size of this. So if I bring it up to 150%, I'm going to be zoomed way in. If I bring it down to 50%, I'm going to be zoomed out. And I'm just going to put it back at 100% here, or I can fit it to my window, which is usually the way that it looks cleanest and best. So those are the options up here at the top of your screen when you're in a meeting. We also have the ability to mute ourselves here. So now I am muted, and it'll pop up this little black box that tells you, hey, you're muted now. I can start my video here. So if I want to make my video available, I can see myself over there on the right. Looks like I left my little beach, my little beach background up there. So yeah, now we can see the video, and everybody else in this meeting can see my video as well. I can always just stop the video here. And I can modify while I'm in the meeting things like the virtual background. So if I want to change it back to Golden Gate Bridge, I can do that. Okay, so now I've got my Golden Gate Bridge back as my background. And I can do some other video settings here. I can modify my other properties as well and change any of those options that you saw me messing around with before I joined the meeting. Here you can see the list of participants in this meeting and who the host is. Your name is listed at the top, and then we've got the host listed here as well. We can chat. So within the chat window, I can choose who I want to send my chat messages to. Do I want to send them to everybody, or do I want to send them to just one particular person? And so by default, you're going to send chat messages to everybody who's attending this meeting. And if you want to, you can also share files. So if I have files in Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, Box, or locally on my computer, I can share those files to this chat. So let me grab a file off of OneDrive here. And I want to demonstrate doing this with OneDrive so that you can see it. And the process is very similar for any of those other cloud storage solutions. right? So if I'm using Google Drive, if I'm using any of those other kind of solutions, Box, Dropbox, this is going to feel very similar. Right, so now I can grab something out of my OneDrive folder here and share it to the chat. And so I've got a file here that I'm just going to share to the chat. It's a PowerPoint file. And I'm going to allow anyone with the link to access this file. And now if we look in the chat window, I've made that file available to everybody in this meeting. So if you ever need to share out a file, that's a great way to do it. Just click on File and choose where you want to share it from. If I want to share it from my local computer, I can browse to any file on my computer. Okay, so there's the participants window, there's the chat window, I've got the recording option here. Now in this case, my meeting host is not allowing recording, but I'm the meeting host, so I'm just going to go to my other machine and allow recording. Okay, so now I have allowed this participant the ability to record. Let's try to hit the record button one more time. And you can see here now the meeting is being recorded. So I can record this and play it back anytime I want. Let's stop the recording. And it says the recorded file will be converted to MP4 when the meeting ends. And I am about to end this meeting, so we'll take a look at what happens with that file in just a moment. But last but not least, if I want to clap, if I want to put my thumbs up, I've got some reactions that I can choose from here. And those reactions you can see are populating on my little video screen. And so, yeah, and after a minute or so, they go away. Okay, so a couple other quick options I want to show you here. Up here at the top left, we've got this little information icon. Here I can find the meeting ID, I can find the host, the password for the meeting, and I've also got the URL for this meeting as well. And so if I want to provide that URL to somebody else, I can copy it here, and then I could just paste it into an email or a chat message to somebody else who may want to join this meeting. Now, here I can choose from speaker view or gallery view. And unfortunately, I don't have a whole bunch of people in this meeting with me, so it's kind of hard to display some of these topics, but here I am at the Zoom website. And by the way, I'll include a link to this page in the course resources for this lesson. Here you can see the active speaker view, where it's really focusing on the person who is speaking, versus gallery view, where you're going to see these smaller thumbnail displays of all of the participants in the meeting. And you can display a maximum of 49 participants in a single screen of this gallery view. But if you have more than 49 people, there's going to be multiple pages of this gallery view. And you can see here, you have little icons here to click and change to the other screen of the gallery view. So again, if you've got more than 49 people, you'll see that option there available. And then like I showed you in the beginning, we've got the ability to exit full screen. And here we've got the ability to go back into full screen. So that's what this does here. If you hit escape, it will also take you out of full screen. So if I'm here in this view, I can double click anywhere. It'll take me out of full screen. I can hit escape. It'll take me out of full screen. Or I can actually click the exit full screen button. And then last but not least, when I'm ready to leave the meeting, I can click on leave. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to leave this meeting. And now it's telling me, hey, I've got this meeting recording that I've created. And it was converting it to an MP4. And it automatically opened up this folder for me. And so if I go ahead and launch this MP4, it should be a recording of the part of the meeting that I actually recorded. So pretty cool. Now I have a local file on my PC that I can rewatch if I want to see that meeting again. If I'm using the free version of Zoom, this is the only recording option available to me. I can have a locally stored copy of that meeting. If I'm using the paid version of Zoom, I can store it in the cloud. and share it with as many people as I want. All right, so that's a quick crash course in how to attend a Zoom meeting and some of the basic options that you need to be comfortable with as you join a Zoom meeting.